In this video, we're going to be talking about our most controversial takes on keto.
And if you're new here, my twin sister Emily and I have lost over 160 pounds following a technically keto lifestyle. And on our channel, we talk about all things keto.
And before we get started, we just wanted to say, I think that there are some people that do not know that we actually have another channel called Keto Twins, where we mainly do cooking videos and testing recipes. So definitely check out that channel if you're looking for some fun keto content, because that's what we try to do on both of our channels. So we are quite different in how we operate and live this lifestyle. We call ourselves technically keto because we are not really strict. We're relaxed. We're very intuitive with how we eat, and that's the type of content that we promote on our channel. There's many different ways to do keto: strict keto, lazy keto, dirty keto, ketovore, carnivore, all these types of things. And we have been off and on this lifestyle and variations of it for the last 2 decades. And we have found that the way that we live our lifestyle now is the best way for us. That doesn't mean that it might be the best way for you. So our first controversial take is that you do not have to exercise to lose weight on keto. And before you say it, yes, we do believe that exercise can lead to a healthier life, but you do not need it to lose weight on keto. We don't believe you can exercise your way out of a bad diet. We just want to tell people out there that you can always add in exercise later. And I think that when you're obese, it's really hard to exercise. So maybe you can add in exercise later after you've gained some of that mobility back and you feel better. That's one of the comments that we get quite often is how often do you exercise? And the answer is honestly, never. We try to be more active than we were before, but we don't dedicate time to exercise. We should probably for the health benefits, but we just don't. So if you are just starting off and you are thinking, oh, I need to exercise and I need to do keto, just try to do keto first and you may start to feel better and want to add in exercise at a later date.
For me, changing your diet is such a huge commitment and it's sometimes overwhelming. I think a lot of people, when January 1st rolls around, they just want to go full in and change their lifestyle, change their diet, change their exercise routine. And it just kind of makes everything very miserable and puts a lot of pressure on you to change very quickly when this is all about maintaining something for the rest of your life. And if it's not sustainable, you can't imagine exercising every day for the rest of your life, it's just going to go away once you stop, honestly.
Right.
And that's what we teach here on our channel is that we lost a lot of the weight, but it's really about maintaining that loss afterward. That's the most important because people are going to lose most of the weight during the first few months, but it's the years afterward that are really going to make a difference to keeping your weight down in the long term. So is exercise good? Yes. Should we do it? Yes. But do you need to do it to lose weight? No.
So the second in our list of controversial takes is the fact that we aren't necessarily afraid of food or ingredients. We get a lot of comments like, aren't you afraid of this or that? Or did you know that this causes cancer? Or did you know that this causes inflammation? And I believe that if you can eat in moderation, you can eat anything. And if you can learn how to incorporate these dirty things once in a while or these unclean things once in a while, then that is more sustainable for me than eating clean for the rest of my life and being terrified looking at the back of a box. That's controversial, believe it or not, because in our comment section a lot of the time, there are people spouting off these claims about a variety of different ingredients, and these claims have no basis in actual reality. And these people have heard these claims by other creators on TikTok or wherever, and they're just spouting out these things that are not true. I don't really have the time to debate back and forth how data is misinterpreted about certain ingredients, but I will give you 2 small examples and make you think about actually being afraid of some of these ingredients. So I believed a lot of these myths about certain ingredients too until I started to really think about it and look at the actual data involved. And the first ingredient out of 2 that I will bring up is MSG. And I grew up thinking that MSG caused all types of health problems, headaches, and whatever else. And it was mainly found in Chinese food, right? And we grew up in the 80s and the 90s actually hearing that all the time, to the point where restaurants were starting to put no MSG on their windows outside, trying to convince people that they didn't have MSG. Obviously, MSG must be really terrible for you, right? If the world had turned against it. So an estimated 42% of us are trying to limit or avoid MSG entirely, according to the International Food Information Council. That is a huge number of people. But did you know that MSG is a naturally occurring substance? I did not know that. And it is found in things like Parmesan cheese, tomatoes, mushrooms, meat, walnuts, and asparagus. I never knew that. MSG is hardly new. It has been used to flavor foods for more than 100 years, and for 6 decades, no one ever had a problem with it. Until 1968. That's when a doctor reported it in a letter to the New England Journal of Medicine that he had experienced palpitations and numbness in his neck, back, and arms after eating Chinese food. This is one dude that had this supposed reaction. However, he said, although the author said that these symptoms could have stemmed from several things in his food, including sodium, alcohol, from the cooked wine, or MSG, the public picked up on MSG and dubbed the condition Chinese restaurant syndrome. And that is it. Just because of that, one guy wrote this one thing, and now 42% of this country is avoiding MSG. Despite the extensive number of symptoms reportedly linked to MSG, the FDA says that MSG is safe. Basically, it's a smear campaign against this thing caused by one guy who had a weird reaction to it, and the country just ran with it. And I'm telling you that a lot of the things that you're hearing is mumbo jumbo set to scare you. And you want to know why that is? Negativity will always get more clicks than positivity, okay? And we could easily get up there and tell you 10 top foods that cause cancer or could ruin your keto diet or could cause all kinds of health issues and inflammation, but we don't operate that way because that gets clicks, honestly, and scaring people into being really fearful about food gets clicks. And so guess what? The creator is naturally inclined to keep on telling you when he walks down the aisles of the grocery store that this causes this and this causes that. So that is the first example, MSG. The second example is carrageenan, which if you don't know, on our other channel, Sarah and I were making cottage cheese chips in the microwave, and they were really, really good. And one of the additives in one of the cottage cheeses that actually held up better than the organic counterpart had carrageenan in it. So what is carrageenan? Basically, carrageenan is extracted from seaweed and it helps bind things in food products, okay? There's a different type of carrageenan that's degraded. This is not the same as carrageenan that you find in your food. And it does cause cancer and it does cause inflammation. However, it is a completely different molecule structure than actual carrageenan, and yet people are linking this together and saying that it's the same. It is not. And we get a lot of comments about carrageenan and they don't even know that they're talking about the wrong carrageenan, okay? They just hear carrageenan and they get triggered, right? Because they heard it somewhere else. I would implore you to look up someone called Food Science Babe. She actually talks about a lot of these food myths, and she's an expert in food chemistry, and she talks about the differences between these products and how they aren't what they seem. And people are extrapolating this data wrong. And so that is our second controversial take, is that I will not promote being afraid of food or ingredients beyond kind of being afraid of carbs because it made me obese. But even then, I do not believe that keto is some kind of cult and that you need to eat clean all the time. And that, you know, you could be worried about these things and get cancer from something else. Trust me. We've had it happen in our family many times to someone who ate 100% organic, was worried about her health every day, that only ate clean. She got cancer and died of a very rare cancer that had nothing to do with what she ate. So we just won't promote being fearful about food on our channel. That's it. That's our controversial take.
Everything in moderation. That's what we believe in. We try to eat clean things 70% of the time or greater, but allowing ourselves to eat these dirtier items, to eat these dirtier items some of the time helps us to stay on this long term. You know, Emily and I have been overweight for most of our life. And then within the last, 3 or 4 years, we've been able to take control of our life because we allow ourselves to be a little dirty sometimes. And we call it that because so many people are just so against some of these ingredients that we actually have to categorize them this way. Do we actually believe that they are dirty? Not really. They help us keep going. And that's what we believe, is that we just need to keep going on this lifestyle. And sometimes you're going to eat dirtier and it's okay as long as you're keto most of the time.
As long as you make your focus whole foods and add the things in as a treat.
Life is about moderation. And we got into the places that we were at, you know, obese and overweight, by not believing in moderation. We would eat carbs every day, all day long. And so having dirty items once in a while helps us stay on track. Changing into a keto lifestyle is difficult as it is. So throwing in these very like harmful and very negative outlooks on food can make it harder to stay on in the long term. So we don't listen to that type of advice. We try to be more positive, have fun. That's what our channel is about. So our next controversial take is that we do not believe that you need to be in ketosis every day for the rest of your life.
And it's as simple as that, really.
It's really simple. Like we said before, there are going to be days when you go off keto, whether you go through the Starbucks drive-thru and they give you real sugar in your coffee, or you go to a party and there's literally nothing to eat and it throws you out of ketosis. That doesn't mean that your whole life is ruined.
This idea that you have to be in ketosis all the time is negative, in my opinion, because it's very black or white. And if you thought like we did a long time ago, you might go, oh my gosh, I'm not even in ketosis anymore. What's the point? Might as well just go for it. Mm-hmm. And then you've been off keto for 6 months before you know it. So just do the best you can. If you eat something and you feel like you're not in ketosis, or you test yourself, we'll get into that, and you're not in ketosis, then just continue on. So our last controversial take is,
we do not believe in testing our blood sugar.
It's not that I don't really believe in it. I just don't want to do it. So therefore, we don't.
We don't like needles. I don't like blood. I don't want an extra cost of a blood glucose monitor, nor the supplies.
I just don't want to obsess about it. Same. I don't want to obsess about this lifestyle. I think about it a lot. I have a channel called Keto Twins. I just don't want to think about it anymore. And guess what? It would be very profitable for us, but we still don't want to do it. Why? Because we get offers all the time from companies offering to pay us to promote their monitors. But we just don't want to do it, because the average person, unless you have diabetes or you're pre-diabetic, it's like the average person, we want to promote a relaxed way of doing this that is sustainable for most people who can't even control their carb intake for one meal, let alone years. Mm-hmm. And obsessing about my blood sugar is up and now it's down and now it's up. You don't think that your blood sugar goes up and down? Like, it does. It's going to. The problem is having your blood sugar at this level for years at a time. That's the problem. If you are over analyzing every single thing that you eat and testing your blood several times a day, it can become an obsession, and you're overthinking everything and stressing yourself out over a fluctuation that happens over an hour.
And that's what makes it not sustainable, right, this lifestyle.
I mean, for most people, you might be one of those people that is totally likes all that kind of data. I know our father is. Our father is fascinated by all that kind of stuff. He is a chemist. He's a scientist. He likes taking his oxygen levels like 5 times a day and his blood pressure, and he logs it and does all his calculations and puts it on a graph and looks at it. Personally, though, I don't want to think that way. And so therefore, we do not believe in it. If that makes you happy, then that's great. But if you are obsessing about this and you're not happy doing it, then don't do it. Mm-hmm. And don't be stressed out about these numbers. Unless it is a medical necessity for you to do it. This is a industry that they're trying to sell you these strips and these testing things and getting you obsessed and buying their app. And that's great for some people, but for others, it can send you into an obsessive, angry, and scared mindset that we do not promote on our channel. Those are our controversial takes.
And it's kind of heated.
Yeah, I know. We're pretty non-confrontational in our content. Honestly, this is about as controversial as we're going to go.
Life is too short, and it's difficult enough without trying to stress out about every little thing. So that's why we like to follow our technically keto, easy, relaxed lifestyle.
Yeah, and it comes off as kind of laissez-faire and lazy and stuff. And hey, I don't care because it works and I'm happy. I'm happy doing what I'm doing. I don't need to improve it all that much. And if I felt like I needed to, then I would, but I don't. And it's been since 2019. This is not something new for us. Anyway, so those are our controversial takes. Cancel us if you will.
Please don't.
But if you would like to see other videos by us, you can click on one of the videos on the screen and we'll see you over there. Anyway, I'm Emily.
I'm Sarah.
And we are the Keto Twins, signing out.